We are back here with another edition of Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics, and at this time we have two senior guards from the basketball team, as well as state champions from the volleyball team. Young ladies, how are you doing today? We got Chloe Rule and Libby Brown. Chloe, how are you doing? Libby, how are you doing?
Good.
They're really excited to be here, as you guys can see. Chloe, we're going to start with you, and then we're going to pass it over to Libby. Anytime I ask a question, both of you guys just answer the same question. Chloe, you know yourself, what you guys did in volleyball was fantastic. It was Coach Austin's second state championship, this group of girls' first state championship, but you guys got to roll over and beat Addison, a team that had been an Achilles heel for you. Talk about that experience when you lost to them in the regionals, but then got your shot at them in state, and you finally beat them before we talk about the state championship.
Well, I really, we still in the locker room just talk about it. Like, we were literally talking about it earlier this week, like before practice. And it was honestly, like, it was a big obstacle for us to play them. And it was really accomplishing for us to finally beat them. And, sorry.
No, you're good.
And, I mean, the feeling, I still can't even describe it. I cried for like 20 minutes after we beat them. And when we played them at regionals, it was, we knew we could beat them. We had just had a few mishaps, and we were practicing every single day, hitting those exact key points that we needed to fix in our game. And we worked on it, and the work definitely got us to what we needed to be.
Paid off. Libby, same question for you.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Libby's a big talker. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'm such a big talker. I'm basically just going to kind of reiterate what Chloe said. We still talk about to this day. We're like, dude, we swept Addison 3-0. Like,
that's what was impressive about that.
Crazy. Because what was it? We went, how many sets with them?
We went 5 the first time we played them at regionals.
Yeah, we went 5, and we're like, well, this team's very, very beatable. So we just kind of kept that mindset.
And you girls, now let's transition over into when you were at the state. Oh, Libby, you can leave it with you. Then you pass it back to Chloe so she can reiterate what you say. At the state tournament in Birmingham, or when that goes through, or Huntsville, I'm sorry. No, the state was in Birmingham.
Yes.
Yeah. At the state championship games in Birmingham, when you played them guys and it was 3-0, you left no doubt. But you knew that was not the blue map. That was just the Addison hurdle. How in the world did y'all come back down to earth and refocus for that state championship match?
Well, I'm not going to say Addison was like our state championship game, because it wasn't. University Charters who ended up playing in the state championship
That's what I was
game.
talking about. Like, how did you level off to get ready for University Charter?
Just kept the same mentality. We got over Addison, so we can get over University Charters, really what we kind of
That's the mindset you girls have? Same question for you, Chloe.
I mean, as soon as we got back to practice, like after that big win against Addison, Coach Ratt told us that we had to flush the Addison win until it was all said and done. And we put the Addison win in the back of our minds, like knowing that that was our full potential and we could definitely finish this thing out. But as soon as we beat University Charter, we immediately went back to the Addison game and just relished in what the feeling was after everything we had been through.
Yeah, because they've basically been the gatekeeper for the last few years in 1A volleyball. So, all right, now let's transition over into the basketball season. You girls are now, is it 25-1?
That sounds right.
It's in that ballpark, we know.
It's
somewhere around in there. You're 25-1, but as athletes, how long did it take you to transition over to where you felt like, okay, we're getting in basketball shape, we're doing the right things? There had to be a lull there. Like, how long was that for you?
God, I don't think.
I would say maybe like 3 days max, because we never really got out of basketball. We never really got out of basketball shape, I'd guess.
Gotcha.
Because, I mean, even if we are in volleyball season, we still all come up
still
here.
Condition, you still
yes.
live? So, how much does it change from volleyball to basketball?
Yeah, I personally think it's a lot just because of the certain positions you have to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like being a middle hitter and being a post player are two completely different positions.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a lot more movement that goes on in the paint than there is when you're up on the net. Like, on the net, you have to go back and forth across it to try and track down those balls. But when you're in the paint, you have to be able to be the eyes of the defense, and you have to be able to constantly be moving from block to block, and you can only be 3 seconds in the lane, so that's another factor you got to get in there. And I personally feel like I didn't fully get in basketball shape until like right before that Florida trip. I was okay, and then I had a bit of a setback when I got the flu, but I feel like I'm right where I need to be condition-wise. We definitely are still working on stuff, and I think we've still got a lot we could do, but I'm comfortable with where we're at, but I'm not complacent by any means.
Libby, let's ask you a question. Talk about the Florida trip. You guys went down there and had some success.
yes.
You ultimately lost to a nationally ranked team, but the overall experience in Florida, being able to play some elite teams from across the nation, how was the experience for you guys?
Man, that was fun. I always say Brantley. Well, we played Woodward. What was it? End of beginning of January. Woodward was a fun game, but Bradley Central was awesome. I wish Chloe would have got to play in it, but they were freaking good. They were awesome.
Competition-wise, you guys have really good teams here in Alabama, but that's another level. Being able to play somebody like that, how awesome was that?
That was fun.
Did it test you guys in
Yes.
other ways you've not been tested?
Yes, because they had 3 big, tall girls. I mean, every single one of them had, I think, D1 offers. The first 5, I think. I know 4 definitely did. So
The rest of them had everywhere else.
Did you guys get to do any relaxation, any like sightseeing, or y'all did get to do
yes,
that?
we what did we do? We went of course we went out and ate, and then we played arcade, and then we played laser tag. So
We went shopping.
That had to be
yeah,
fun.
we went shopping. That
Chloe,
was
how
fun.
much money did you spend?
All of my Christmas money.
Did you? Oh,
I
yeah, because
really
this was
did.
after Christmas.
Yes.
Where did you go? You went
God,
somewhere.
I went in PacSun, and then I
Yes.
went in Converse, and it was over. Like, I spent so
Paxson
much
was
money.
over.
Did you ask Mason for any more money?
No, he actually sent me money, though, and I
okay.
didn't use it.
You did?
No, I didn't use his money. I used my own money.
Man,
Yeah,
come on,
I'm
that's what
great.
dads are for.
I know, but like,
All right, look, I can't keep you guys up here all day. Y'all got practice, but let me ask you another couple of questions each. You guys, Coach talked about earlier, after the Sandrock victory here, I believe, you guys kind of had a come to Jesus practice and meeting. We don't want to get into the details of all that, but how much have you guys grown from those practice or meeting after that game? I'll let each one of you guys answer that.
I think, me personally, I think I have been able to overcome it and push myself to the extents he really wants me to. And as a team and as a whole, like, I feel like it brought us more together because we had to go through it all together the same time. The whole practice, the whole week, it was all of us getting hammered and just,
Screamed out.
yes, but it was necessary. We needed it. Someone needed to tell us, and if anyone was going to, it was definitely going to be Coach Rat. So I'm
Libby?
glad we got
Oh, go
over
ahead.
it, though. Like,
Libby, same question for you.
Yeah.
How was it for you, your experience during it?
Oh, it was the same as Chloe because we both kind of we both got the yeah.
So y'all got a pretty good bit of the wrath being seniors, I'm sure.
Yes.
that has a lot to do with
Because
it.
being seniors, you're supposed to be able to lead the team. You have more experience. Even
Gotcha.
if we have moved in, you're still supposed to be one of the ones that he relies on, of course. So.
Dude, that had to be fun, I'm sure.
Oh, it was
All right, so
awesome.
now, last question before I let you guys get out of here. Since that time to now, you guys have kind of been peaking and playing better basketball. What do you think that is? And each one of you guys can answer that. There's something changed. Maybe it's mindset, something little you guys have tweaked in the locker room amongst yourselves, but you guys seem to be playing better basketball and being more focused. What do you think it is?
Well, at the beginning of the season, we kind of got out of like our routine. Like usually we'll go to Jack's and eat in the mornings before games, and we kind of stopped doing that. We were like, well, we kind of need to start getting back doing what we always do. So I think that played a big part in it.
Continuity, family
Yes.
type atmosphere. Same question for you, Chloe. Something maybe you've seen.
I think we're finally getting all back on the same page of we want another state champion run. Like we want it bad. And I know me and Gibby, with this being our last run, we definitely want all of the team to be on the same page as us. The chemistry from volleyball definitely carries over, and I think the chemistry is just as strong over here since it's the same girls. We all want the same thing. We're all going to push each other, and we're just going to strive to be the best we can for each other, and that's what really gets us motivated.
That makes sense. And having the same man coach both sports and the same mindset and the same principles in the weight room and conditioning definitely helps with that as well. Well, all right, you two seniors, we appreciate you, and I know this is your favorite time of the day. It's time to go work out and get busy and go chase another blue map. So thank you guys for sitting in with us.
Of course.
Thank you. All right, we are here with two more seniors from the Spring Garden basketball team with Chapel Pope and Cole Bailey. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Doing good.
Hey, you guys, I got to looking at you guys right now on the season are 20-3 at this point, which is phenomenal. And you guys played some tough competition to be sitting here at 20-3. What do you think's led into that? You guys have had a phenomenal season so far.
Our practices, Coach Levi's done a good job getting us prepared, working hard, pushing each other to be the best we can.
Yeah, we've had intense practices, working good, and Coach been coaching us good, and that's it really.
Right here back with you, Cole. Talk about Coach Hatch a little bit. What's he mean to this program since he's come in here? It's a little bit different mindset than Coach Austin, but it's still the same principles, hard work, pays off, grinding, defense, stuff like that. What has he meant to you, like individually?
Yeah, he's a little different than Coach Rapp, but he expects the same out of us as in potential-wise, and he wants us to do great, and we want to do great as well as he wants us to do so.
Same question for you, Chapel.
He does a good job. He holds us accountable. He wants us to be like the best we can be. He don't want nothing less. Like if we ain't giving our best to the team, like we're letting people down. So we gotta just try our best and do what we can do.
No doubt. Chapel, right back with you. I've got to talk about them. Y'all got the best warm-up pants in the state of Alabama. Y'all take pride in that, surely. Did y'all help design those, or they've been here for years?
They've been here as long as I can remember.
Okay, so they have been here for years.
Yes,
I had to bring that up before I go into my next question. Have you seen these? They're phenomenal. They look like Indiana's, but they're Spring Garden colors, like the stripes. They're awesome. You guys being seniors are obviously looked at as leaders on here, but with you guys, do both of y'all play all three sports?
I do.
I only play basketball.
Just basketball, okay. Well, we'll start here and we'll pass it back to Chapel. It never stops here working at Spring Garden. The weight room never stops. The conditioning, stuff like that never stops. What's it like being in this program overall?
I mean, we're always working year-round. I know that's we're successful in basketball, but, like, even though I don't play the other sports, I know that greatness is expected. Football, basketball, even through the girls, all their programs, everything. We're all expected to be great.
And Chapel, you play all three of the major sports. Talk about that a little bit. It probably never stops for you because even in the summer, do you even have a week off in the summer? Maybe 4th of July or something?
I think 2. I think we get 2 weeks off.
So 50 weeks a year, you're doing something here, working your tail off. What's that like? I mean, and you got to change mindsets because you got to have different mindsets in different sports.
Oh, yes, sir. You just go in one from the other. You just got to, and while you're in that sport, you kind of look ahead so you're, like, not behind when you get there, but, like, you focus mainly on the sport you're in. But, like, you have, like, some extra free time. You might go, like, work on the other sport. Like in football, you might go shoot a little bit of basketball. And basketball, if you have the time, you might go to the cage. It just depends, like, your schedule. But the sport that you're in is the one that's mainly important. You just got to put most of your time and effort into that one.
How do you keep from burning out? Like during this, okay, so like you've already played a full season of football. You're 2/3 of the way through a full season of basketball. You ain't even started baseball yet. How do you keep from burning out? How do you relax yourself and get your body ready for the next day?
I mean, you just got to get enough rest. You got to just think of it like you're not going to be able to do this for your whole life. So, like, the time you can do it, just give all the effort you can and just think, like, in the future that you ain't going to be able to do this when you get older. So, like, just in that time, just live in it.
Gotcha. Now, I want both of you guys to answer this. You guys are undefeated right now in area play, and that's all important. Obviously, you guys will be hosting area tournament, but you've got to play your best basketball around the area time. How are you guys approaching that? Because, you want to peak heading into that area tournament because one slip up and your season's over with. unless you're in that championship game. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, I feel like we're gradually just improving. Our defense has been good throughout. Our offense, we've kind of like had some ups and downs, but like I feel like it's getting there. It's like we're working. Our shots are going in. We just got to keep working and keep getting better.
Yeah, we definitely need to keep working. But our defense has been pretty good the last few weeks. Only thing we just need our offense to start flowing a little bit more smoother, and I think we'll be good.
Right back with you, Mr. Bailey. Your defense has been playing really well. I've noticed it on paper. You've held teams in the 30s and stuff like that. And what is it you guys think you do well defensively that is giving these trouble to all these teams?
I think we communicate well on switches and just everything like that. We switch our handoffs and switches, and I think we just do a good job at communicating.
Gotcha.
We do a good job switching, talking. Our help side's pretty good. It helps having some big people in the middle, so if you funnel them in there, it's hard to get a shot up over Jacob and John. So like we do a good job helping, boxing out, and getting rebounds.
Chapel, if you had to rate your hair versus Big Welch's hair, who's got the better hair? That's Jacob.
Oh yeah, that's a tough question.
You got to see this guy's hair; it's phenomenal.
Probably Jacob.
You think so?
His is a little bit more cut and maintained. Mine's getting a little long. About time for a haircut.
You got to see his hair. You'd understand. All right, let me ask you guys one more question right here before I know you guys got practice coming up. When you guys started this season, I know everybody goes through this. There's a time that it hits you that you're actually a senior. You're not going to be playing basketball again here at Spring Garden ever after this. Has that moment hit you guys yet? Have you realized, man, this could be like one of our last few home games? This is our last game against whoever. Because to me, it didn't hit me until like senior night when I realized, whoa, because I always thought, man, I'll be playing basketball forever. But then you realize you're not going to be. Has that hit you guys yet?
Yeah, it probably hit me like a week or two ago when somebody was talking about like after the county tournament, they're like, county tournament's already over. That means it's getting close to the end. So like, and I started thinking about it then.
Gotcha.
Honestly, it hit me like a few days ago when someone told me that senior night would be next week, and I just like hit me right there. And I was like, dang, it's crazy.
Before I let you out of here, and you guys just won that county tournament, can you talk about that a little bit and how awesome experience that was?
It was great. We always love to beat center, and I think that was my first varsity county championship for me, so it was a great experience for me.
It was a good experience from like last year, not doing too hot in it, and this year coming back and winning it means a lot.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys for sitting in with us, taking a little bit of time out of your day and out of your practice, and we'll let you guys go get after it, and good luck to you guys moving forward, and we'll be back out here next week. Thank you. All right, we are back in with another edition of Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics, and at this time we have head coach, Coach Ricky Austin, in with us. And Coach, basketball season is always a fun time for you, but before we dive into this basketball season, let's rewind the clock a little bit for you to capture your first volleyball state championship and what that meant to this school. Is that your first one?
Second one.
Second one.
Won it in 2007.
Okay, 2007. Second volleyball. Sorry about that. I apologize.
No, you
But to capture that volleyball state championship here with this group of athletes, how special was that? Because I know y'all had been knocking on the door forever, and you finally got over that hurdle.
Yes, it was. It was really special, and it had its own unique feel about it because it was volleyball.
Gotcha.
But the thing that made it so unique with this group of kids is this is something that they really, really wanted, Bo. When Addison beat us last year in the semis at state, I mean, in the huddle on the court, they were like, we're going to beat Addison next year. And they knew to win the state championship, they'd have to beat Addison.
That's correct.
So, you're paired up with them in the semis, and all year long, the whole practice, all year long from the first day, somebody would bring up something about Addison. And it was just so rewarding and such a great feeling because it's something that they wanted so bad, and you could see the process happening all year long and could see us getting better. And then so when we played them in the semifinals at regionals, and they beat us there pretty solid, but we knew we were right there. And so we come back and made a few little changes and then beat them in the semifinals in the Elite Eight. And it was almost like a state championship game feel. I mean,
100%.
it was just an unbelievable feeling. And then all of a sudden we got, whoa, we got to pump the brakes. We got one more game to go, and you had to refocus a little bit. But most definitely one of the funnest things I've been a part of here. Yes, I'm a basketball guy.
Yes,
I think you know
absolutely.
that. But we worked really hard in volleyball, and we didn't touch up basketball all volleyball season. People think we do basketball year-round, but that's how focused this group was
That's
and
incredible.
the importance.
People
And,
probably wouldn't believe that if you told them.
Yeah.
They'll probably say he's lying to
Now,
us.
there's, Ace would come up and do some workouts on her own because she had summer ball.
Right.
But the majority of these kids were all in, and every girl on this basketball team had a significant role on.
Right.
On our basketball team had a significant role on our volleyball team.
Right.
So it took a while to flush that and get focus for basketball.
It's two different worlds.
It is.
Especially
It
when
is.
it rolls over as long as it did.
Absolutely.
That was my next question. I was about to talk to you. When you played Addison in the semis and lost, were the girls crushed in the locker room, or did they know something was special right around the corner in Birmingham?
In regionals this year?
Yeah.
No,
It was in Huntsville.
it was a confidence thing, right, in Huntsville.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it was, we left there strictly with confidence. We knew, the girls knew, coaching staff knew if we beat Addison, we was going to beat them one time.
Gotcha.
It was they're that good.
Gotcha.
And we thought, if we could get them one time, that wasn't the right place to beat them. But we played well enough, and we knew that wasn't our A game. We knew we'd have to play better to beat them, but we knew there was an A game there that we could perform better. So, no, it was, we left there really encouraged.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you. I knew I didn't know if the girls. That's good, which probably helped you when you got to Birmingham to defeat them.
Absolutely.
All right, so now let's fast forward, and you got your girls back, and you just mentioned a little bit of it. How long did it take the girls to? Obviously, there's going to be some kinks and some bugs, but to get the girls rolling, so to speak, to where they're back comfortable and they know, okay, we're back where we need to be, and things like that.
We won the volleyball state championship on Thursday. We started basketball practice on Monday. Had 11 days of practice before our first game. And like I said, every girl in this basketball team had a significant role and still floating around. First day of basketball practice, still, it was still a lot of talk about volleyball. We're still having celebrations. We're still having people wanting to recognize us. We're going to council meetings and getting recognized. We're getting recognized by the school, getting media attention. It was still rolling into basketball. So I told my wife, Dana, who's my assistant, with the girls' basketball, I told her, I said, hey, remind me to be patient.
Gotcha.
It's not fair to me to come in and start demanding and pressing from the beginning in basketball. I said, we've all got to enjoy this. Let them enjoy it. That could be the glory in the end.
Absolutely.
But, about 2 weeks before Christmas, started getting a little impatient. We're winning.
Yeah.
But we weren't
performing.
winning. Wasn't performing completely at our standard and doing things exactly as crisp as we wanted to. Started throwing some red flags out at them here or there. Started saying we're not doing this well enough. We got to be better here. And then we had a home game here. We went off to Florida and played in the Christmas tournament, made it to the championship game, got our only loss of the year there so far against Bradley Central, nationally ranked team. So, we're playing good, but we're just not, didn't feel that want that they had to beat Addison in the state. I didn't feel that in basketball up to this point, and was being very patient. But, so 2 weeks right before Christmas, started talking to them a little bit more. And then we came out of Christmas, out of that tournament in Florida, played Sand Rock here, just kind of went through the motions, nothing special. We won, but it was sloppy. And so the next days went, okay, here we go. So we had a rough practice. We had a 2-hour film study, and we started holding people really accountable and flushed it. We had 1 day off. We had 1 day of practice, and then we played Woodward Academy in Atlanta, who had just beaten Hoover a few weeks prior.
Wow.
And so we're like, it's time. And we came out and played really good and played hungry, and celebration during the game, individuals were back slapping each other five and fist bumping, the things that part of our culture
Love it.
that was a little bit more intense, and you could feel it.
could feel the
and
difference.
since then, it's been back on track. I'm starting to feel that hunger again that we need to be able to finish this thing.
One thing you do is you put these girls into the fire with a schedule you do. I mean, like your non-area play schedule throughout the season's phenomenal, but that also prepares you obviously for your area, and then over, more importantly, is area tournament, sub-regionals, regionals, if you're fortunate enough to get there, obviously. But talk about that a little bit. I mean, you guys, I mean, like, it don't matter classification, it don't matter what part of the country they are, you put these girls in the fire because that's where you find out what you have.
Exactly. I think I kind of learned that from my high school coach,
Gotcha.
Dale Welch. He never shied away from competition, and he never let us shy away.
Gotcha.
As a sophomore, he would challenge bigger schools, put bigger schools on the schedule, and so, you know, and I realized, hey, this has helped us, and I've just brought that over. When I went to junior college and played for Frank Gordo's, he would schedule 4-year schools for us to play exhibition games, and so I always just, you know, felt that playing over our head helped us play above our head when it come time for your level of ball. So last year I thought we had a tough schedule, and we lost one game, and I thought, wow, we got everybody back but one player, and we got to have a more demanding schedule. Well, opportunity just happened this summer, having a player like Ace, getting some national attention, nationally ranked. We got invited to some showcases and things like that against other national players. So I said, well, hey, why not? Let's go see who we are. And so we hadn't shied away from anybody, and I think it's been great. It's been fun. We've done a lot of traveling, like I said. That's a little bit unusual for us to travel that far and play, but it's been very, we've been able to see growth.
Absolutely.
But it's also brought some inconsistency with your play on this level against, you know, some of these really high-ranking schools, and then we get back to a area schedule, and, you know, no insult to any area team, but it's just not the same competition right now, and so we dip, and then we go back up and have to get up for a big opponent again, and then we have to, you know, and these girls are smart enough to know what's in front of them, and that's been a challenge that I didn't foresee coming when I made the schedule, throw some tougher teams in, was the peaks and valleys that was going to go through emotionally from one day of practice to one game and the next, and that's kind of not who we've been. We've always been steady, but I've had to handle that and be patient and let them process their way through it. And, you know, they do a good job of that. They understand, hey, we better step it up tonight, or hey, we better be more serious today at shoot around. But you know, as I've gotten older, Bo, and even that being a little bit more creative with the schedule, times have changed, and you have to find ways to let the kids have fun. You don't let them have control, but you got to let them have fun. There's too many things that distracts now. So I feel like between my wife and my coaching staff, we know when it's time to pump the brakes, when it's time to get serious. And but our schedule is most definitely a huge part of our success right now.
Something I noticed that you and one other person I really know that really pays attention to it, I just picked up on, you know, you said after the Sandrock game, you guys come in and they're a really good team, and they always battle really tough, but that's when you kind of, the rubber met the road and you had to have a talk on them. You and Coach Pop Benefield do a good job of, it don't matter the score, it don't matter, you want to see what you've worked on, you want to see it, and everybody on the roster. Right. And you two guys do a really good job of that. How important is that, no matter the score, no matter the situation, that they're still held accountable?
Oh, and that's something that I think my coaching staff helps me with on that. We just scrimmaged our B-team boys. We did this little drill, 3-on-2 drill, and we keep the score, but it's girls versus boys, and they beat us 30-12. And how we lost that was bad. It was our, you know, we made some really poor decisions in that, so we huddled them up. I said, hey, I am okay with getting beat 30-12, but how we got beat 30-12, I'm not happy with. So I just started pointing out some of the small things that led into that. And then, so let's do it again. And then we flipped the switch and hammered them pretty good the next round. But that's kind of how, I just use that as an example. That's how we coach. We're okay with you missing shots.
Gotcha.
We're okay with you, you know, trying to make a play. Is it the right shot?
Right.
You know, I'm okay if you miss, but is it the right shot? I'm okay with a turnover if you're trying to do something that's within our stuff.
Gotcha.
And maybe we hadn't prepared you well enough for it. I'm good with it. But when you get out of trying to do more than what we tried to prepare you for, we're going to bring it to your attention, and we're going to hold you accountable. And a lot of times it falls back on me for not preparing them in that situation. So you got to be smart and be able to handle that the right way as well.
Makes sense, though. Honestly, it does. And then you're in another unique situation. I could stay here and talk to you all day, but I know you got stuff to do. But I got to ask you this question. You're in another situation where you have to battle several different things. How do you battle, and I always like to ask coaches this, complacency? Because when you've been a champion already, a multi-time champion as Ace is, and then you have other girls that's come in, like Libby that's champion now in multiple sports, Chloe champion multiple sports. How do you battle that from we've already arrived? How do you handle that personally?
That's interesting you asked that question, because I had that same conversation with the principal this morning.
That's good.
We're just sitting around talking, and he's like, these girls, they get up for the big games and they understand what's in front of them, but they're very humble.
Gotcha.
And I think that's something that I'm just blessed with right now. I'm not sure it's something that I do. I think it's just who they are. They're very humble, and they're not satisfied until the end. And even through all of this, I hear them still chirping in the background in the huddle and at practice, and what are we here for? And somebody's going to chime out to win state. So even though we've had some success this year, they know what the ultimate goal is, and they're not getting too big-headed on having a great record or beating a big school. It's just kind of something that I think our coaching staff don't celebrate a big win over a big school. We're happy, and we say, hey, if we can do that, we can do this. We use it as a teaching moment, and I think that they also see how every day of practice and every game, how we try to relate things in life compared to that, the peaks and valleys of life.
Makes sense.
So you can't never get too high, can't never get too low. You got to be able to maintain every day, and we try to bring those examples out through practice, through games of situations in life, and then I think they can compare that to their personal life. It just keeps kind of a steady line there.
The scary part about basketball is also the best part about basketball, I think it is. If they don't believe that, I mean, you take a team like Grissom last year, who was number one all throughout the year, they don't even make it out of the sub-regional. So it's a situation where if you don't execute that night versus this team, all of this we've done is out the door. So I love that about basketball, but it's also scary from a coaching point. Is like if these girls are not ready or dialed in. Coach, before we get you out of here, and it's the same question I asked Coach Hatch, we're right here on the eve of the area tournament. It's all important. Everything you've done in this season leads up to this area tournament and performing well in it. And in the sub-regionals, you're blessed enough to go over into regionals. How do you change? Does anything change? Is it the same message throughout from day one to now, or has anything changed, or how do you get them dialed in for this area tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I can feel the girls getting excited about the area already. They're ready.
They're getting ramped up.
They're ready for this process. The things we do different, which is, I've had this conversation with several coaches, but we have some hard practices right now.
Challenging.
We don't, yes, we don't, the way the playoff system starts, and you think, oh, we only got 2 days of practice. I got to let them get their legs under them. And then if you get through that, we got a week before we play. We've got to let them get their legs under them. Well, if you do that over a month, you're out of shape by the time you get to the end. So we make sure that we don't let that slip. We're still weight room 2 days a week. We're still going to condition hard. And we've been known to probably have some of our toughest conditioning and toughest practice at this time of the year instead of in the beginning and middle. And once again, it's about being prepared and being over your head. Playing them. I can't play competition over my head right now when the playoffs start, but we can practice over our head. We can demand more at practice right now, and that's kind of how we do that. We want short practices, but we want it very intense right now.
Yeah, with this generation, I call it the TikTok generation. Their attention span's a lot less than it used to be when you and I were. I remember coaches like Coach Farmer at Etowah would sit there. He would talk and talk and talk. Like if you did that nowadays, they're gone. They're out
Absolutely.
of it. So you got to keep them moving.
Right.
And, it's funny you mentioned that. It's very simple, almost the identical answer Robbie Coker gave me. It's like you got to have shorter, more intense, more meaningful practices. It makes a lot of sense. Well, Coach, I'm going to let you get out of here. I know you're a busy man and you got tons of workouts and practice and have kids out there now. So as always, thank you so much.
Sir.
And that's going to do it for this portion of Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome into the first edition of Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics. We're here with head boys basketball coach, Coach Hatch. Coach, how are you doing, sir?
Good, sir. Thank you for having me.
You guys, here at Spring Garden, basketball definitely is always fun to watch, boys and girls both. This season, no different. You guys are sitting here on the season 20-3 now. Coach, what's it been like? Because we hadn't got to sit down and interview you since you took over here. Since you took over here, I know you was at Trine and you've seen this program from afar, but since you've been in the walls here and took over as head boys basketball coach, what's that experience been like for you?
That's been amazing. It's it's really cool to be around, a program that, is supported. You got a group of kids that work extremely hard. And I like to be on this aspect because even when I was at my previous coaching position, I was not out in the gym or in the weight room with them. And so it's been a great thing to be a part of that, see how hard they work. Because you hear about it, and my wife went to school here and she talked about how, the work ethic was second to none. And so it's great to be able to experience that. And it's true. They work extremely hard all year long.
Being able to pick up the phone, walk down the hall, and talk with Dana Austin, Ricky Austin, how has that experience been from a coaching standpoint? Because you got two encyclopedias basically there at your disposal.
And I told him when he called us one night, it's like, hey, are you interested to get back into coaching? I was like, not really yet, because we had just had our second child, and that was the main reason I got out of coaching in the first place, to be a dad. And I looked at Lauren, I was like, we prayed about if a position opened up in Alabama that was a good fit for us, that we'd take it and give her a chance to get back home. But I told Coach Rad, I said, my first year here, I want to be around the boys and the girls. I want to be around you. I want to see how you coach in different situations and just glean that information, because, that's valuable. And so anytime I have a question or whatever, he's been an open book. And so he's been a huge asset to have in my life and my coaching profession.
You knew when you took over here, you was at a program that's not like others. You didn't have to go in and reinvent the wheel. You already had hardworking kids that were bought into the community, school, and program aspect. How much better has that helped you along it with the kids here at this school, because you didn't have to fix a whole lot of stuff when you got here?
Didn't. Just kind of tweak a few things of the way I like to do things. But like you said, I had a lot of people when I came in, they were like, that's going to be a tough job to fill. And I'm like, well, why is it a tough job to fill? And all this pressure. I'm like, I don't feel that pressure because I'm stepping into a program and a culture that embraces that hard work and that loves, like I said, loves to work hard, and their expectations, like they have a high level of expectation. And I did not want to go into a program where they were just like, hey, we're glad you're here, let's just make it through the season. Like, I want to be held accountable. And so when you have a school and a community that buys into that, it makes it so much fun to do and be a part of.
It's a very unique place, man.
It is.
Coach, let's dive into this season. You're sitting here at 20-3 now in the season. You guys are off to a fantastic start. I believe you're still undefeated in area play as well.
Yes, sir.
What's led to the success in this particular season, in your opinion?
It's got to be the hard work. If you look at our guys, and we have this discussion almost every day at practice, every game, we just seem to outwork teams. And so we'll talk about, hey, the ball's not going to go in the hole. We're just not going to score many points. Maybe we'll get mid-40s. Our defense has always kept us into it. We actually ran stats the other day. I think we've given up 5 50-point games and now like 7 30-point games. And in guys basketball, I think we're averaging giving up right about 41 points a game now. So you're looking at just over 10 points a quarter. And when you look at other teams and how much the three-point shot has come into play now, that could be 3 or 4 shots and you've already given up that many points in a quarter. So we've really prided ourselves on trying to be relentless on the defensive side, really being focused on the small details because you can control your defense every night. Now, offensively, it'll come and go, but that's the biggest reason of our success is that we're just hard-nosed. We get after it. We try to do all the little things, and the guys just buy in and they work their tails off.
Defense travels, obviously, you know that. So I like where your head's at on that one. No matter where you go, if you play good defense, you're in the game.
Absolutely.
And then hard work and effort. That's the two other things that always travel and will never betray you, in my opinion. But when I look at these Spring Garden teams, it's no mystery. As you said, it's hard work, it's defense, but it's also hard-nosed kids. These kids are used to battling in baseball. They're used to battling in football. They're used to battling.
They are.
How in an era we live now, it's not like that in society always. We're not the toughest generation there's ever been.
No.
But talk about that, how awesome that is to have that instilled in these kids already.
Oh, absolutely. to me, and my teaching philosophy was always, no matter whoever the kid is, my level of expectation for them is always going to be here. It doesn't matter if it's in the classroom, on the basketball court, in life in general, because if we as educators and as coaches, if we don't hold them to that bar, that level of success, they may not have anybody at home to do that.
That's correct.
And so I'm not going to lower that bar because I feel like I'm failing the kids.
That's
and I'm going
correct.
to coach you number 1, number 12, doesn't matter. I'm going to coach you hard. I'm going to expect that level of expectation. And the good thing with these guys is they'll accept that challenge. Like, they may get frustrated, but they shake it off very quickly.
I like it.
We know that to match up with some of the teams that we're going to face or that we do face, maybe athletically we're not on that same level or quite there yet, but we make up for it for some grit, for that toughness.
Love it.
And they buy into it, and they love it. I think that they love and embrace it because they know that that's who they are. That's the core of who they are. So, and like you said, it's more than just basketball. It's more than just sports. If they can build that mental toughness and that grit, that's what's going to make them successful when they leave us.
When the house is about to get foreclosed on, you've had an injury and you can't work, and the kids are sick, that's when that toughness comes out real
Absolutely.
loud. Coach, before we let you get out of here, we could sit here and talk for hours, but we're going to be back each and every week. We're right here on the doorstep of the area tournament. You always want to be peaking heading into that area tournament, and then obviously sub-regionals, you're fortunate enough over into regionals, but what's it going to take to have your guys peaking right here at the end, right here, bottom of the ninth, so to speak, before we get over into that area tournament?
Just staying true to ourselves. I think that our guys kind of know our identity. If they play within themselves and continue to buy into what we're trying to do, which they're doing, I think that's what's going to separate us from maybe some of the teams that we play, is just staying within ourselves. And we've done a good job of progressing throughout the year. It was playing 2 good quarters and then 3 good quarters, which is frustrating, but I'd rather be playing 2 and 3 good quarters in the middle of the season than already peaking at that point, because in basketball, when you get to tournament time, if you're on that downhill slide, it's really kind of hard to right the ship sometimes. So just continue to stick with the game plan and putting 4 quarters together. And like I said, just that toughness and defensive style that we like to play. I think that'll be key to us.
Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us, and we'll be back here each and every week for Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics. Thank you so much.